What is it really like to eat plant-based? You've heard from a few that it can be easy, but also from others that it takes a lot of kitchen time to prep and make meals. So which is true? Maybe you long to drop a few meds and be able to enjoy foods more freely without worrying they'll spike your blood sugars. And from what you've heard or read about plant-based eating, you know this diet change might help you get there. Friend, if you're held back by fear or worry that eating a plant-powered diet will take way too much time and energy, let's talk about this. In this episode, I'll give you a glimpse into what a plant-based diet lifestyle is really like, and 3 reasons why eating this way may not be as hard to do or take hours in the kitchen. Come join me and let's dive into it together. Welcome to the Plant-Based Eating Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Anna Zinn, plant-based registered dietitian and transition coach. Hi friend, do you want to regain your health with plant-based eating but feel overwhelmed and lost about how to do it? Do you feel it'll be hard to change your meat-heavy diet and impossible with working, running the home, or chasing after the grandkids? If so, you're in the right place. Here you'll find simple strategies, clear nutrition guidance, and practical tips to help you thrive plant-powered with more energy. So if you're ready to ditch the guesswork and transform your health the stress-free way, cozy up now with a hot cup of tea or listen while you walk, and let me show you how doable plant-based eating can be. Let's do this. Friend, I want to tell you about my latest free resource to help you move with success into a plant-powered way of eating. It's a guide called 7 Ways to Test Drive a Plant-Based Diet. It comes with tips and test drive plant-based recipes to give you many options for trying out this lifestyle. Grab it at plantnourish.com/test drive or see the link to it in the show notes. We live in a world now where everything seems to be go, 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 and nothing seems to stop, really, for long. We're busy working, taking care of aging parents, kids, grandkids, the home, the garden, and possibly even involved in volunteer work for a church or local organization. It's likely a combination of at least 3 to 4 things crowding our weekly schedule. So given this, it's natural to be worried about where or how we can move into eating plant-based, because it seems to be a big lifestyle change and those can take even more time to do. And maybe you just don't have the time or want to spend any more time in the kitchen. Just like this member of my Beginners for Plant-Based Diet Success community, who recently shared, I don't like to spend a lot of time preparing meals, so I need to figure out shortcuts to have a plant-based diet. Is this how you're feeling too? That's why I'm doing this episode, because I know this is a concern many people have. So here are 3 reasons why eating plant-based may not be as hard or as time-consuming as you think. Here's the first reason. You can decide how fast or slow you want to make your transition into plant-based eating. Here's what this means. If you don't want to do an overnight complete diet switch, you don't have to. And if you decide to take it slower, your learning curve won't be as steep. If you give yourself the space of 6 months or so to move into a plant-powered diet, then that will take away more of the stress from making this change and will help you intentionally but gradually ease into your new lifestyle. So know that you don't need to be 100% on a whole food plant-based diet immediately, unless you want to. Of course, there are advantages and disadvantages to a faster or slower diet transition. For example, one consequence of a slower transition is that there will be more gradual positive changes to your body. So the health benefits may be less noticeable at the beginning. What's more important is this, that you make a decision and commitment to increase the proportion of plant-based foods and ingredients eaten in your meals, and to see the plant-based foods on your plate as the stars of the plate. This also means that instead of relying on meats, chicken, or fish, you're starting to view plant-based foods as being the main source of key nutrients like protein on your plate. So it's really a mindset shift in how you see your plate and how you view your meals. Let's move on to a second reason why eating plant-based can be doable without needing to take up a ton of time or be a mental headache. There can be so much flexibility when it comes to plant-based meals. When I think of a standard meal on a regular diet, it may look like this: a cooked grain or potatoes, along with some side vegetables and a piece of fish, chicken, or steak. But on a plant-based diet, your plates don't need to look like these traditional meals if you don't want to. Your meals can be hot or cold and as simple or complicated as you want them to be. And there are many no-cook options available. For lunch, enjoy a lentil soup with pasta added, a bean quesadilla, or some sushi rolls. For dinner, instead of a traditional cooked meal, you could choose to have just a burrito, sushi rolls, or a filling plant-powered salad with colorful veggies, dark leafy greens, and some legumes like chickpeas or kidney beans added. Keeping your meals simple and enjoying some no-cook meals can also make them easier to prepare too. A third reason is this: meal prep can be faster and less tiring if you use smart kitchen prep hacks, meal prep strategies, and simple to make delicious plant-based recipes. I often hear this as a complaint among new plant-based eaters. They say that it seems to take a lot more time using fresh produce and other plant-based ingredients like starchy tubers, whole grains, and beans. So they are finding it hard to sustain this way of eating. But actually, making plant-based meals won't need to take hours if you use time-saving plant-based kitchen prep hacks, do pre-planning, make use of smart meal prep strategies, and know which simple, tasty plant-based recipes to make. Here's a good example. I was recently talking with a plant-powered life transformation course student who told me that it was taking her about 45 minutes to cook up a pot of brown rice. Well, I was then able to point her to the lesson within the course, providing a kitchen prep hack to help her cook up brown rice in 15 to 20 minutes. She was excited to hear that. There are many more plant-based kitchen prep hacks and practical meal prep strategies within the PPLT course. Because I know how busy life can get and want to make this diet transition as easy, quick, and simple to do as possible for my students. Plant-based cooking can also seem more time-consuming and energy-zapping for another reason: if the wrong plant-based recipes are used. I see this happening when a new plant-based eater is trying too hard to replicate certain favorite meat-based dishes, instead of just accepting the fact that plant-based meals can be a little different from traditional meat-based dishes, but still delicious. The other day, I saw on social media a video showing you how to make a copycat version of a McDonald's Filet-O-Fish burger. It looked tasty and just like the original burger. But there were a ton of ingredients needed in order to make the vegan fish patty, with some specialty items like caper brine and capers. Altogether, you needed 18 ingredients to complete the breaded patty and an additional 8 ingredients to make the vegan tartar sauce. I've no doubt this would taste delicious in the end, but for me, it would be too much work to gather all the ingredients, not to mention to follow this recipe to the end. Plant-based eating becomes much easier when we focus energy and attention instead on trying out a variety of different new plant-based ingredients and finding new food favorites. And there are lots of simpler yet still tasty whole food plant-based recipes that you and your family can enjoy. That's why I've put close to 30 recipes within the Plant-Powered Life Transformation course, many of which can be made in under 30 minutes and use commonly available store-bought ingredients. I want plant-based eating to be fast and simple for you. So at the beginning, when starting your diet transition, choose the simpler way. Don't set such high expectations on yourself in trying to replicate the look and taste of every single favorite meat-based dish. Instead, just expect that the plant-based meals you make will look and taste slightly different. And that's okay. And really, being on a plant-based diet journey is all about exploring and trying new foods and tastes within the plant-based kingdom. And there are many. So today we looked at 3 big reasons why eating plant-based can be faster and simpler than you think. The first is this: you can decide how fast or slow you want to make your transition into plant-based eating. The second reason is this: there could be quite a lot of flexibility when it comes to plant-based meals. And the third reason is this: meal prep can be faster and less tiring if you use smart kitchen prep hacks, meal prep strategies, and simple to make delicious plant-based recipes. Now for the action step. Take a moment to reflect and think about what a reasonable pace of transition would be for your particular situation. Would it be an overnight switch or a gradual transition? Remember, we want to make this diet and lifestyle change doable and enjoyable, and not something that is overwhelming and stressful. And if you're still feeling afraid or unsure about whether you should make a big lifestyle change towards plant-based eating, grab my latest free resource to help you. Go to plantnourish.com/test drive to get this 7 ways to test drive a plant-based diet guide, or see the link in the show notes to get it. And keep listening to this podcast. In just a few weeks' time, at the start of the new year, I'll be doing a plant-based beginner series with more smart tips and strategies to help you gain even more confidence in eating this new way. Thank you so much for listening. If this podcast has inspired, encouraged, or helped you in some way to transform your health, I would love to hear about it. Please take 30 seconds to rate and leave a written review on Apple Podcasts to let me know. It will encourage me so much to hear how this podcast has positively impacted and made a difference in your journey towards wellness. And share about this podcast with a friend or loved one so we can all thrive in the best health. Remember, plant-based eating can be easy and doable. See you in the next episode, my friend.